Let me just ask you a question overall about this draft that I noticed, and I'm wondering, somebody who's been through it quite a bit. We saw a ton of kids come in age 23, 24 because of that COVID year. Transfer portal now, what used to be a red flag. Wait a minute, he switched schools? Now it's kind of like, all right, yeah, sure, he's been to a couple schools. I'm wondering what type of different prospect we saw in this draft than previous ones. John.
Well, I think there were a lot of older prospects. There were a lot of guys that have played for 4, 5, and even 6 years. So those guys are 23, 24, some guys 25 years old, which is pretty unusual. I hadn't seen that too much in the past. It's going to be interesting to see how it affects, drafts in the next couple of years in terms of how many guys come out. I know these guys that got like 6 years in the portal, those guys are going to kind of be out of it now. In the 2020 class coming in, the 2020 high school class, is the class that didn't get that extra COVID year. They were stacked in behind all these guys that stayed those extra years. So I'm interested to see if some of these guys who kind of pop up and start getting some playing time that are some of them, 22-year-old guys, we get some guys that we didn't expect to see. But you never know. The COVID changed everything, man. It's just a continuation of craziness. And it even goes to the NFL draft, I guess.
Yeah, but do you find maybe more mature guys that you spoke to this year than previous years, or might be more pro-ready because they're kind of bringing more professionalism, not just maturity-wise, but NIL-wise, come into the equation? John?
Oh, you mean like they got their accountant all lined up now and they know how to do their taxes? They didn't know how to do them before. Yeah, okay. Probably so. But the older guys, for sure, they're going to be more physically ready. You think to be more mentally ready. You still prefer younger players because, you're investing in something that's going to last longer probably. But we're not afraid of the older guys. They might be one contract guys. That's okay. They might have gone to 3 or 4 schools. You try to know why a little bit. But really, the question we would have is who is he now? Who is he right now, this year, coming here? Where is he at from a maturity level, both football-wise and life-wise and work ethic-wise and everything else? And can he help us be successful, really? And it's a bottom line kind of a deal.
John Harbaugh here on the Rich Eisen Show. What'd you like about Nate Wiggins out of Clemson, your first round draft choice, John?
Well, he's a young guy, right? That's a guy that's on the opposite end of the spectrum. He's been there 3 years, and he's 20 years old. So didn't like that, but with that comes youth, youth. He's got some things he's got to learn. But the thing I liked about Nate is that he knows that. He's very self-aware. He's very reflective on, where he's come in the last 3 years, where he's grown, where he needs to go, where he needs to grow. But I like that about him. I saw some humility. We saw a guy with work ethic. I liked the way he played, Rich. He played hard, and he's super talented. Probably, okay, I don't want to make anybody mad out there, and maybe I'm biased because we got him, but I thought he was the most talented cover corner in the draft. He's just got natural cover skills. He's not afraid to hit you. He's not afraid to run under the ball. Those are things we like in Baltimore.
Yeah, and then a couple of rounds later, you went shopping at the Penn State edge rusher store again, John.
Yeah.
I don't know if you already got credit in that store, clearly. But what did you like about Adisa Isaac to go and grab him in the 3rd round?
Well, you talk about, the intangibles are off the charts. So if you know his family story and his siblings and his mom and what he's done for his family and how the people at Penn State feel about him, that's one thing. That's the one track. Then the other track is how he plays. He plays super hard and he's really athletic. I loved his takeoff, his ability to get off the ball and get into the backfield on a pass rush. He's heavy-handed against the run, but when he gets to the top of the pass rush, then slip a tackle, and then accelerate to the quarterback. That's kind of important in terms of getting sacks, your ability to close on the quarterback at the top of the pocket. And he did that exceptionally well. Plus, from a physical standpoint, when you look at him upside-wise, looks like he's still got some development. He's going to get stronger and faster and those kind of things. So we were thrilled. We were just absolutely thrilled to get him in the 3rd round.
And then you want to talk about family stories and what their backstories are. Tez Walker is kind of one of one, based on what happened in college with him and his family story in the NCAA. My goodness gracious. What did you find out when you started chatting with him or kicking the tires on him, John?
Yeah, same thing. Best football in front of him, I would say. MAC guy, Mid-American Conference guy, originally Kent State. Always respect those guys. They come up the hard way. And then he transferred and went to North Carolina. And then I don't even want to get into the NCAA right now, how they're treating young people and all this transfer inconsistency. And I had a few choice. I'd have a few choice words for him, Rich, that you might agree with. But you know what? It's all under water under the bridge right now, right? So we'll just let it go. But he didn't get treated fairly, and a lot of other guys didn't either. So that's just the way it went. But how did he handle it? How did he respond to it? And he responded perfectly, and just kept his eyes straight ahead. Didn't look to the left. Didn't look to the right. Saw the horizon he was running for, and just kept pounding. Kept running. And he's still got a ways to go, but I believe he's going to get there.
Yeah, that was my question: is how plug and play ready do you think he might be for the offense for him?
It depends. It's a great question, and we just had this conversation with my coaches out here on the practice field today with our phase 2 stuff. It depends how ready he is to do the things he does well, and the things he does well is run well. He can run, so if he can run past coverage and make plays downfield, and then stop. And when people play him deep and stop and catch passes and get upfield, and just start with that, and then with the over routes and the crossing routes, and push the coverage out and expand the coverage with his speed. If he does that well, then he can build everything into that. So that's going to be my conversation with him later today when he comes in.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.